Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Branding Masterclass. Thank you so much for those who are tuning in live and also for those who are watching this on replay. Today, my highest intention is to bring you so much value so then that way you can walk away feeling really rejuvenated in your brand identity online and how you show up. Because ultimately, if you have no visibility online, then how are people supposed to be able to receive your gifts, create some wealth happening as well, and circulating that energy to make sure that you're also being able to give your gifts but then also receive. And that's through being able to get incredible leads and incredible clients who are able to pay for your services so you can continue to share your gifts with this world. Because I know that there are so many entrepreneurs who have got all this energy and all this aliveness and creativity, yet they're potentially not willing to show up online, or there is this hesitation with what to post online as well. And so I'm going to take you through three-step a three-step guide, so then that way you can start to create an unstoppable brand to really light you up and to make you feel really excited when you go online. And ultimately, the more you show up, the more clients you can have, and the more leads you get. And then that way you can actually feel joy when you are an entrepreneur and you can show up fully and authentically as yourself in the process. So, my friends, thank you so much for watching and for tuning in. I really do appreciate your time and energy. And I am going to share my beautiful screen so we can get started. So for those who are watching, feel free to grab a water. Make sure you're hydrated during this time. We want to make sure that you're being able to receive and to just nourish yourself in the process. So, how to create an unstoppable brand. Yes, you being the brand. And it's actually quite an interesting concept, right? Like, how am I supposed to be a brand? Like, Coca-Cola is, Versace is, any kind of big corporations are brands, right? And they have this brand identity. However, you can also have your own brand. And this is what's beautiful, is that it's all based on your values and what lights you up. And we forget that there is this omnipresent energy because everyone is totally unique. And so being your own brand is like, okay, cool, how can I be the lead in my own life and be unstoppable? Yes, it's possible. So what we'll set this is a three-step guide in regards to setting you up to stand out in your industry. Yes, it says other online coaches, but it really is so much more. There's online coaches if you want to step out in your industry, whether it's being a holistic therapy specialist or a DJ or a musician or anything like that that really lights you up in your industry. You want to be able to create a brand and identity online that where you can stand out. This is really the space to be, to really encourage you to move and to feel safe in doing so. So I am Julie Cooper. This is what happens because you don't really have a crowd, so you've got to really work. You've got to work the old spirit fingers. But I'm a branding coach and stylist. So I have 15 years experience in high level media, from television to PR to radio to what else have I got here? The whole kit and caboodle. I have been at every event from fashion weeks to big festivals all around the world, from Coachella VIP to everything like that. I am in those spaces, and I've always kind of been in those places too. I've worked with really incredible brands globally, launching stores, openings in LA, like the whole kit and caboodle. I'm there for it because I'm always kind of at the tables at the right time. I'm also a professional photographer. I was a social media talent agent, so that means I pioneered the digital social influencer space in New Zealand. So I got to see everything from like the growth of Instagram to Facebook, YouTube. So that's been really, like just to give you insight as to my background. So you're kind of like, oh, who is this chick and why am I actually investing my time? I want to know that I've invested my time to be able to share with you my knowledge and wisdom. I've also got Bachelor in Communication Studies and a postgraduate certificate in Business Admin that I recently graduated from. So you'll see here I've got some photos just from like LA, some photo covers that I've done. That's Katy Perry as well. That's me in an LA opening and just having a ball really. So here are my qualifications. It's like if you were walking into a doctor's uh, a doctor's office. It's like they here we go. We'll plant them behind me. I have to get a green screen one time and try and put them behind me just for shits and giggles. Um, just so you know, like I'm also a Reiki practitioner, so I'm very much into my holistic therapies and spiritual kind of realms as well. So I'm wildly passionate about branding, content creation, one-on-one support, making sure our entrepreneurs are supported and juiced up and loved in their content creation. Also to feel super excited about showing up online. Like you have a free platform to show up, to share your gifts, to show the world how epic you are. And I'm totally here to support that because that just lights me up, being able to see other people and their power and their presence. So that's what I'm wildly passionate about. So here is do you feel like you're not attracting the right clientele? Or, you're like, oh, there's a particular client that I'm like, why is it, why do I keep attracting this client? Or I'm not inspired by my content. And there's either people who don't even post, which I see you and I hear you, or there's people who are posting and wondering about the algorithm, right? There's also others who feel like they're really stagnant. It's boredom kicking in. It's like, well, where do we even begin? And there is this essence of wanting to stand out and wanting to really make an impact in this world by sharing their gifts, but really don't even know where to begin. Also, this is all the qualifications, however, not feeling seen. So these are for my people that have traveled the world, who have done such incredible things, like wildly cool. Yet, there is this resistance to actually being seen in that. I know there is incredible entrepreneurs who have done insane things, yet you wouldn't even know it if you looked at their profile. You'd see it's probably something like a stock image, and you're like, what? Like this amazing entrepreneur or amazing creator has either no social posts or there is this resistance, and I'm like, wow, you've got a master's in a particular space, or you've traveled the world doing something, and you're not even sharing that. Like that's where we start to see the blocks, and I really want to be able to spend this class being able to remove those blocks, or like creating awareness around them, so we continue to move forward, because ultimately highest intention is to get you online, get you juiced up in your space, and then also getting leads and DJ gigs, or anything that like just clients in your industry to just juice you up and just light you up and bring that fire back online. So today I will show you 3 key steps to get you ahead of the game, and ultimately let's get you energized. You would have heard by now, I've probably said juiced up so many times, so you're welcome. You're probably going to leave here being like juiced up. So one is with branding. It's all about reputation. Okay. So your reputation is where you are today. And because of your reputation, that's how people see you, that's how people feel you, and that's how people know when they're referring you. They're like, oh, because of your reputation. So if you have a reputation that's full of really great high values of honesty, trust, professionalism, and just being, just being a people's person, being able to great communication, then that means your reputation it's really great. Like that's cool, right? So we really want to build on this reputation so that we can share it with the world, and it feels so much more easeful, instead of people feeling like, oh, I feel really showy. That's really a word that I hear all the time. I don't want to show off. I don't want to feel like I'm bragging about myself. And it's shifting, like bragging feels dragging, like dragging, it feels heavy. Yet, if you go to reputation, I'm sharing my reputation as a credible source in an industry online, you can feel the energy shift, right? It's like, so that's the difference between showing up online and actually moving towards reputation. Bragging, showy, no, reputation. And that's the essence of the leadership codes landing, because your industry expertise is coming online. And this is what we need. We need more industry experts, because what's going to happen is that there's going to be a lot of, eventually, like kids running around in that industry space who are going to take over. And it's like, we need to also step up in our leadership as, as leaders, to actually go, hey, cool, really leading the way, and also being an industry leader to provide that knowledge. Because if they don't have that knowledge, then they're probably running around guessing too. So it's all about reputation, really shifting the energy from showy, reputation, boom. Show up online, that's all I can say. But first of all, what we're going to work through is step one. So it's reputation is the big nucleus, you could say. And we've got rep. So this is when you're REP, this is when you get to rep yourself, because no one is going to rep you other than yourself, unless you've got a potential agent or someone who's actually in your court who can just like rep you. You have to be the leader in yourself, and you have to lead your own. And it gets to be fun and exciting. It doesn't have to be scary and daunting. And the narratives you might be telling yourself may be the opposite, like, oh, who wants to see me online? And all of these kind of sad narratives that are holding you down in a lower vibration. So we really want to bring that vibration up, so then that way you can feel like lighter in life and lighter in business. So we've got recognize your worth as step one. Step two is evolution. And then step three is personable. And also P, I've got so many more P's, because I'm like, yeah, let's go, because that's the last one. But again, step 1, 2, and 3. So is your brand is the reputation you build over several years. So this is, if you've already got a badass reputation, then you're good. Like, you are so good. And it's so great that you do, because it gives you content to be able to share online as well. So recognize is our first one. So I'd like you to, if you've got a book or a pen or a pad, I would love for you to get that out and to actually write recognize. And this is where I want you to really get juiced up on where you are at and your potency and how incredible you are. So this is the time to actually go like, what have I done? Okay. I have achieved this, I have achieved this, I have done this within my industry, I've also led this in my industry, and I also continue to do this. So you're picking up what I'm putting down. It's like we get to recognize how far you've come. We get to pause and reflect on how incredible you are, because ultimately you are unique. You are a miracle to even be on this earth. And so to not recognize your own potency and your own magic is doing a disservice not only to yourself, but to those around you. Because, how are we teaching others to treat us if we can't recognize our potency? And we're just going to let that land. Like, how are we allowing people to treat us if we don't recognize how potent we are? And so, yeah, it's a big thing. So if we can't recognize our own magic and how we want to be treated in this world and how incredible we are, then who else is going to see that? There's definitely people that can see that, absolutely. However, it takes us firstly to see our own magic and to recognize our potency, to then be able to share it. And so depending on the art form or the creation point or the channel, whether it's art or poetry or live gigs, for example, it's like we have all of this magic, right? And how we share it. It's like, you can feel it, right? It's like all of here can feel so blocked, but like when you share it, it's like this release, and then it can actually return back to you and give back to you. So we're creating a cyclical, like it's a life stream now. It's a life energy force, and without us having that energy to go out and to receive back in, we're here, and it can choke you as well. It's really can be very hard on the body and hard on the mind, because naturally that choked up would create overthinking, I'm not enough, and the narratives continue. So, because and how does this relate to branding? Well, I think ultimately it's like recognizing that you are the brand. And so, really, there are different ways of reflecting that outwards. It's not just a logo, it's like you are the brand, you embody your brand. And you are an art piece, you are a masterpiece. And we really want that creative flow to be awakened. And that is by recognizing your potency. It's like recognizing that you are the color palette. You just need to pick up your paints and start to move the paint and create. So if you've got all these beautiful colors and paint, like actual paints, yet you don't use your paintbrush, the paint dries out, and that creates blocks within your system, and bitterness and tiredness and struggle and pain. And we really want to turn on pleasure, because that's what we're here for. We're here to have a human is designed to live a happy and healthy life. It's the outside world that probably continues to tell us that we're never enough, or we're never going to succeed, or who am I to do that, and she does it better than me, so why would I even attempt? It's like, attempt, paint, pull out your paintbrushes, don't let the paint go dry. And it's like, how are you creatively showing up in life? Are you painting with your clothes, like what you wear from day to day? Are you maybe adding some flowers to your tabletops and going, oh, that's really beautiful? Like, how can we introduce the beauty back into our lives? And so we walk through our days, and I'm not saying, go and, I mean, honestly, sometimes I've had clients who legit just clear out their whole wardrobes. They're like, that's enough. And they, go shopping because they're like, I need to live. I need to feel this energy. And so, it's just recognizing, one, how incredibly potent you are. Two, getting really excited about how far you've come. And, listing down these incredible things, which can actually be turned into content. You'll see on my social page, I actually share my journey. My brand identity has changed and shifted. You'll see I've kept it all there. You'll see I went through a black and white phase, and then I went through this green marble phase, which I thought was pretty cool. But you can see that I was hiding behind my content because I started interviewing others to try and edge my way out into the world. And then eventually I'm now very much in my power. And I'm still navigating that. I can tell you, it's not an overnight success. It's legit me showing up every day and loving what I get to do. So I want you to recognize your potency. Grab those paintbrushes, because this is where the juiciness is in the creation and how you creatively show up in life. So look around you and go, is this reflecting, my environment? Is it reflecting who I am now, or am I living in an outdated version? And that is okay, because at least you can recognize there's definitely pieces of historical value, or am I holding on to something because I really don't want to let it go? Like, what could be adjusted in my environment, in my office space, in my clothing that goes, that's cool. I want you to start to look creatively around your environments and actually go, how am I showing up creatively in life? Even if it's a cool pair of lingerie, like anything that juices you up and gets you excited, this is a time to recognize that. Okay, so we're going into step 2, my love. So we've got evolution here, right? So it's the evolution is the piece where our identities will change. And being able to honor that is the biggest step forward. and I see a lot of entrepreneurs who have now had children, and they're like, really understanding, how does motherhood look in this space? Like, how do I evolve from here to here whilst being authentic, but then also having family? Like, there is the identity can shift, but also just love it and trust it, and own it. Um, it's part of your journey now, and the evolution from we're continuously evolving. We've come from children to young adults to adults. Like, there is a constant evolution and cycle, and that's also shows up in your business as well. Is that your identity will change, and there are a lot of businesses that have evolved their logos over time to keep up with the current times. But it's not even to keep up to the current times. It gives, when there is a brand update or an identity update, it's like everything gets to shift and move, and it feels there is this aliveness again, like the cogs are starting to move. And that's like everything, the evolution of music, the evolution of dance, the evolution of art, from Renaissance paintings to pop art. Like, I don't think the Renaissance era would have ever considered that pop art would be a thing. However, it is. So my suggestion for you in this space, and my invitation is that the evolution is wonderful. It's exciting. It may feel daunting, don't get me wrong. There is a lot of change that happens, especially in the digital age as well. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's suddenly you've got 17 apps and you're wondering how to turn your phone off. Yeah, and it's coming from dial-up broadband or typewriters. Like, there is a massive evolution from a typewriter to a touch screen laptop. So my invitation to you is to actually ask yourself, am I willing to evolve? Am I willing to take the steps necessary to let myself accept that I'm ready to take a stand, and I'm ready to show up online and version of myself that may be a bit new, dipping your toe into a new space. And yeah, and can you get excited about the evolution? It sounds very futurism energy, but it's really just for your own brand identity. It's going, where am I actually playing small? Yep, where am I playing small? And where can I stop playing small? Right? Where am I playing small? And this is a very, so we're gone big with the evolution piece, but we can start small, just bring it back. Where am I playing small? And where can I not start playing? When can I start playing bigger? Where am I holding myself back? And where can I really push myself to meet a new edge? To really, try something new. Like the greatest inventors always and innovators always had to try new things to feel into it. And so, yeah, you've just got to also trust that evolution, and just love up on it, because we can see where we're playing small. And it's like, is this actually going to be my timeline? Me just playing here, playing small for the rest of my life? Like, am I, is that it? Is that it? Just tick it off. I'm done. Is that it? Or are we looking at, evolving? And that's the magic right there, is that, am I willing to evolve so I can live this life to my fullest and not feel like I'm just going to I've done, I'm good now, that's all right. Yeah, so I really want you to understand, and as an invitation, it's okay to evolve. It's actually very healthy. And with that evolution, it does shift the energy, and you get to mix it up. You get to mix it up, and you get to play. There is so much aliveness in play as well. And actually, so I've got here is that my personal, because I thought, shit, who am I to say, like, evolve, just jump into the deep end and all the best. I've so personally, I've actually moved through my evolution, and you'll see here is that so 4 years ago now, I shaved my hair for my beautiful sister-in-law that was diagnosed with breast cancer. I went on my own journey where my identity was stripped. I quit my full-time job. I was a senior talent agent for 6 to 7 years. I quit my job. I had an identity. I was the talent agent. I traveled the world. Um, but I shaved my hair, which was represented my beauty. I quit my job, which represented stability and structure. And I went traveling for 5 months with a duffel bag and a roller. Like I packed very light. And that time, went overseas as my beautiful friend Masad, stayed with him in London. I did 5 months, just me, just listening to the wind. And when I returned back, I decided, oh gosh, what have I done? Because I've left. I kind of was in this world of just omnipresent energy. So I started to love up on myself, and I did my first photo shoot on my favorite beach. And so this is me here wearing one of my robes that it was a brand I created as well. Moving into identifying one, I wasn't that person when I left. I came back a completely different person, and I was integrating back into the world, meeting my friends' kids, and going, "Are we still friends? Like, how does this even work?" Because I'm trying to move through a new identity piece. So this is my little niece Minka, and then eventually I moved to the Gold Coast where I had my first branding shoot here, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try something new. And I did, and it was like it was actually fun. It was so much fun. But I realized I was like, I don't know if that's the energy I'm really after, because it wasn't. It didn't feel like it was it didn't feel congruent. It's like I jumped a couple timelines and had to then go back. So you'll see here I went really bold and like wild, but then I came back, and you can see these 1, 2, 3 photo shoots is really personal. That was a really intimate kind of photo shoot for me, moving into a business space and then moving into more of like a badass self, taking actually being more in front of the camera. And then to today, this is my latest photo shoot. So you can see like the energy has shifted. So from this kind of don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to follow the whispers, integrate myself, and then also just understanding that the branding journey is a ride, but it's definitely doable, because I know all of you, especially entrepreneurs, have had your journeys. Like so many lives have been lived because that's what you do. You're hungry for new experiences, new opportunities. And so, yeah, just wanted to honor the journey and the evolution, and also to know where you are holding yourself back. Where are you playing small? Okay, so number 3 is personable. People follow people. So you'll even see in adverts is that they always have a brand ambassador. Like Pepsi's use Beyonce, um, Louis Vuitton just used Justin Timberlake. They use people because people identify with people. So being a brand, being a person, wanting to build your clients and show up online, the best asset you do have is da, 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 yourself. Like you are the asset. And so when people follow people, the more you show up, the more people get to see, like, oh, cool, like, epic. Like, what makes you unique? What makes you stand out? And this is where, like, you are the value piece. And people are like, hey, what are your assets? What are your investments, in regards to, you could go from houses to whatever, to cars. I always have to remind people that you are the asset. You are the investment, because without you, you wouldn't have those stocks or whatever or investments. So I'm like, let's bring it back to numero uno, which is you being the person who gets to lead your brand, and that people follow people. So with that in mind is, what is your vision for your brand? And I really want you to just tune into that. Like, why did you start this career path? And actually, I'm going to invite you to gently close down your eyes if you feel safe to do so. And I really just want you to just breathe in. Just take a beautiful inhale in, like beautiful life force energy that's moving through your body. That's again created by you because you're amazing. And that innate wisdom that's flowing through you. And I really want you to just feel, and breathing in your own time, feel into why you started what you do. And really feeling into that and letting that energy move through your body. Why you started, what you do, and why you create. And what is that nugget there, that golden nugget that's kept you alive and kept you going all these years? And and continues to keep you thriving. Like, what is that? Why is that there? And why do you do that, what you do? So this is your vision, right? Because I want to help people. I want to make an impact. I want to be able to support people. I want to bring joy to people's lives. I want to make people feel excited about life. Whatever the vision is, it's like that why, that feeling. That's what we really want to harness, because that's the magic. That's what keeps you alive. It's the amber within your heart. It's the fire. It's the fire within. And also, how do you stand out? Are you living in an old kind of template? Are you wearing the same old clothes that you're like, oh, man, I actually wish I could. Oh, I'd love to buy a new blouse or a t-shirt, or I've always been looking at this particular Like, how do you stand out? Because it's like, is your vision of yourself, like, there is the vision, is one, are you congruent with that, or is your vision outdated? Is there a new vision? Have you been living in an old timeline and trying to make it work in this timeline? That's okay. It's more recognizing and then realizing, oh, am I willing to pivot to create and, to be able to step into this new timeline? So really wanted to feel into that, right? Feel with your body, out of your mind and into your body. Is my vision outdated? I know my why. This is why I got into what I do, because I love this and it's always lit me up, and it makes me feel so incredibly good when I get to perform or share or create or show up for my clients, right? So you got your why, but then it's the vision of it. It's like, how do you stand out in that? Oh, I've been doing this for so many years. I need a bit of a shake up. I need something new, and whether that's new clothing or a new template for social media, or new branding colors, or new branding logo, because it's like, that's like my stamp. It's like the Coca-Cola stamp, like when it's stamped, you're like, that's it. Like it is, becomes your imprint. It sounds a bit like primitive, but it's your imprint, so it's like when you walk around, you're like, that's what I stand for. And it's like, cool, this is me. When you see my logo, you think, whew. It's like when you see the Gucci logo or a Versace logo or a Prada, you think luxurious. From Coles to Woolies, you think everyday reliable because they're your grocery provider. So it's the energy behind your logo as well. And that is your, is those kind of pieces around you, what the visuals are they outdated? And do they need to be updated? Because that's where it's at. Because the moment you start to update your visuals, the moment you start to be like, oh, okay, here we go, we're ready to play. And that's that's the juiciness. And that comes down to the person. Because if I created a brand, I'm like, cool, I want it to be about me and what I like. So I'm not going to create a brand to suit you. Why? Like, I want it to be, this is me, this is what I like, and then I'm going to attract people who are like-minded. Like, and I want it, and it has to feel good for you, because you're like, it's like you get to create something, you get to share it with the world, and like whoever listens, and you find your aligned people, and it's like, cool, I found my people. So my question and invitation to you is, who is the new you, right? And are you willing to evolve into this person? Or it's probably already here, but you just need new templates because you're like, I need to update my back end in regards to like my marketing, my programs, or my pamphlets. If you've got brochures or business cards, you're like, those are so outdated. She needs new. And and new with soul, not new with like the fast fashion energy, new with like juiced up, beautiful energy that feels really grounded and aligned. That's the difference, right? Not this new, just throwaway energy. It's new, but with grounded thought, love, care, and attention. So that's a lot to take in. I'm not going to lie, because it's all this, it's actually such an activation and a transmission of who you want to be and how you want to show up. So, in conclusion, not conclusion, but like all together, we've got the full effect, right? So you recognize your brilliance. You're a fucking badass. Full stop. Like, you are amazing. You are talented. You've worked hard enough in your industry to show up, to really be a thought leader in your space. And with that comes, understanding the evolution and the energy. To raise that energy up, to feel empowered, to go, oh my gosh, I'm so freaking cool, recognizing, right? And then the evolution energy, how can I empower myself to really show up and to go, yeah, no more. Like, I need to book that branding photo shoot. I need to really look at who this new person I want to be. Personable, people follow people. Like, we really want to actually then activate the 3 and really show your audiences what makes you stand out. And with that comes purpose and power. And it's not about like power, like take over, that like really masculine, intense energy. It's more that innate kind of radiant power that gets to flow through. So with this, it's like, okay, where are we going to empower you to show up online? Are you going to book that branding photo shoot or start to look for photographers who are going to really capture your radiance? Because that's one thing with, there is a lot of restriction that we've just given ourselves, whether it's narratives and, subconscious narratives that are driving the force. However, how are we going to shift that energy? No more of those narratives, and actually find either a branding photographer to enlighten you, to create some content that's new and fresh. Is there a new logo in me? Okay, cool. What does that look like? What does that feel like? What are the color palettes that come to mind? And then that way you can just get excited. It's like anything, when you start a new creative project, whether you're creating something from new or from scratch or completing a project, there is that energy of aliveness and it feels good. You're like, yes, get to sink my teeth into something new. So with that, like, treat your brand, your personal brand, as a really incredibly fun project. It doesn't have to be like work and that kind of like dragging energy. It's like, no, let's bring this radiance to it and actually enjoy and go, yeah. And also, let's take away the resistance. There's restriction and resistance. Like, oh, I don't know what to post online. Once you've gotten your photos from a potential photo shoot, that's one of my my best recommendations is a photo shoot. A photo shoot activates your brand in full force because you've got new content to share and you can just get excited about what's to come. And so instead of restriction, let's dangle some radiance in there. Let's flick radiance all over, like, and just have fun with it. Because if we are always having the narrative of resistance and restriction around business, it's like, ugh, you can even feel it. Ugh. It feels heavy. But when you can actually go, I fucking love what I do. I get to do this. I did this epic photo shoot with da da da. It feels exciting and it feels freaking epic. And we want to do more epic shit in this world. I do not want our entrepreneurs who have worked so hard to get to where they are now to go, I guess that's it. I did good. No, no. There is so much life to live. There is so much radiance to share, and your gifts are literally waiting. Like, people are waiting for your gifts, I can assure you. They're like, right? They're all lined up at your door, but your store's closed and the windows shades are down. So no one can actually see what's inside. It's like having a busy store on the busiest street in your city and you're constantly closed. How are you supposed to receive? How are you supposed to share your gifts? Yes, okay. So branding can be fun. So building your brand identity can be fun. Like I've said juicy like 700 times, you're welcome. And it is, it's like, I want you to either, you can screenshot this as some journal prompts as well, is how do you show up day to day and are you embodying your brand? So now that, understanding what this brand could be like and, this newness, evolution energy. So do you show up day to day in this energy? Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. And so, yeah, my highest intention is going, are you embodying this brand? And how do you show up day to day? Do you show up creatively, or do you just not even notice the beauty in life? Like, legit, just look out the window and be like, that's a beautiful tree. And that is a beautiful tree, I'm not gonna lie, it's beautiful. So, actually noticing the beauty and the creativity around you. Step number one, have you been to an art exhibition lately? Have you been to a gig that you've actually gone, oh gosh, I haven't been out in so long? It's just anything that lights up your sacral energy. And that's one of your chakras, but I'll leave that for another time. And firstly, do you believe in your product and service enough that you're like, you know what, I am freaking epic? Again, this is recognizing how epic you are, right? Once you recognize how epic you are, you believe in your product like 700 times more, because it just becomes like you're talking about your favorite food. Delicious. And this will show up on how you show up online and where you are at in life as well. Because it comes from a lot of self-belief, but it's also showing you how you show up online. Is that you really truly believe in what you do. And that comes through radiance. More radiance. Less restriction, for sure. And do you have cheerleaders and support around you? And who are they? Because today I really invite you to say thank you to them. And say, thank you. Thank you so much for showing up, because far out, like, I believe in my purpose and I believe in my service so much. And I'm so grateful for my cheerleaders and my support network to hold my hand in this journey. So that's also an invitation for you today, because gratitude is the attitude, and the more you can drop into gratitude, honestly, it just shifts all emotions. Energy is in motion, emotions, really feeling that gratitude as to like, shit, this is how far I've come, and I'm so grateful for my cheerleaders and support. Because they're building you. As you're the brand, you're evolving, and you get to show up and stand out even more. Also, very important is how you're supporting yourself behind the scenes. So that is taking that extra care as you build your brand, as you start to step in this new space. And it always gets to be on your terms. I'm not saying, go out and start posting 70 times a day and not spending time with your family, etc. Like, that's a hard no. All I'm saying is that find who your brand is, what those values are, and that your high value could be family. Those very much check into your values. And then also, while you're there, making sure you're looking after yourself as you grow your brand. It all gets to be on your terms. I had one client who thought that she had to get more clients and grow her business and do this, and that's the only way she'll be successful. I just thought that's ridiculous. Less time with the kids? That's so stupid. You've created a business to support you, yet you're not supported by it. I was like, this is the most stupidest thing I've ever heard. I said, why can't you just work less, charge more, and spend time with the kids? You have the reputation. You know, she had this business for over 12 years. And that's the moral of the story, is that let your business support you. Let your branding, how you show up in your business, support you. If you've created something from scratch and it's not working with you, reevaluate. What are your needs? How can your business support you? How it should be nourishing you, ultimately. And making sure you're looking after yourself. You are the asset. And I'll say this 100 times over. You are the asset. You are the asset. Like, I really want to be able to fill out a banking form once and just be like, what are your assets? And be like, me. Because you're welcome. You know, like, you are the asset. You are the main investment here. And so looking after your nutrition, your health, your movement, making that time, because how you show up for yourself is how you can show up for your friends, your family, and your community. So yes, that is just, so I really hope that this has just been able to support you and to show you so much love and juiciness, that you are incredible. You are just like absolutely unstoppable. And with all these factors in mind, it creates an unstoppable brand, because you are unstoppable. Full stop. You're talented, amazing, hardworking, you know, you're great with people. I know all the people that are tuning in today are legit, have shown up and they've taken risks and they haven't followed the grain, like the grain. They have gone against the grain and not followed, you know, certain pathways that are more traditional. So I know you guys are here to like fuck shit up, like let's do shit differently, let's play. And so, you know, I really hope that there are some beautiful key takeaways from this, so you can feel really alive in your business, because you are the asset and you deserve to be happy in your business. I actually put these here because this is, I'm sure there's some people who are out there who are genuinely thinking, can branding actually genuinely be fun? Because it feels sticky. I hate marketing. I couldn't think of anything worse than like posting pictures about myself. Do I have to write captions? Why is this so hard? But I can assure you that I have legit had clients who have walked away feeling like they feel comfortable, confident, they show up online, they have this ease, and there's encouragement and motivation to show up online as well, and to be able to really bring your beauty out online. And also not online, but also in yourself, which then gets projected online. Does that make sense? It's not about like, cool, I'll show up like this person online, but I'll also be a different person behind the scenes. A legit is actually just a mere reflection of who you are, and then shared online, because you're a gifted, talented, incredible entrepreneur. And just wanted to recognize that. Okay, so we do have some live brand audits. However, what I would do is, because the branding masterclass has come to an end now, I really hope, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the record, so then that way we can you can just take in what we've just discussed. If you are wanting to work with me, I do branding, and I do support our entrepreneurs to move from not being seen to being seen online, to be able to find clients and leads because they've created content that feels alive for them, and then attract some incredible leads as well, because that's what we're here for. We're here to share our gifts. So if you wanted to work with me, feel free to. You know where I am, Julie Cooper Creative, Instagram, direct message me. Again, I'm very personable, so y'all know who to reach out to. But I just, yeah, my highest intention was to give you as much value to make you feel like the magical, incredible person that you are. So that way you can show up in your business and show up in life with the energy and aliveness that you deserve. Like you're a miracle, easy. On this planet, cool. Sharing your gifts, amazing. Designed to be happy and healthy. How do we keep this energy and joy flowing? So I really want you to I invite you to continue to move through what we just discussed, recognizing your value, evolving, letting yourself evolve. You're worthy of it. And also being that personable person, people follow people energy. Is that the more you're in tune with your vision and who you want to be. Highly recommend a brand photo shoot that really activates the next level of self. And then that way your business can definitely nourish you. We want your business to nourish you. You've created it for a reason. That's why you don't have a 9 to 5, or you may have a part-time job too. That's absolutely cool. It's epic. So yeah, so thank you so much for tuning into this masterclass. Sending you so much love. Honestly, it's been such an absolute pleasure to bring this to you. So thank you to those who have shown up live, and orally, feel free to stay and we can hang out and chat. And for those who are watching this on the replay, have an incredible day because you deserve it. Go find beauty in the world. Go get creative in everyday life to really start to nourish the incredible person that you are. Sending you so much love. Mwah. Yay. Stop share.